Karl,
What's up?
nice to have you on, and nice to have the seagulls.
Are you hearing there? Fucking damn it! Oh, bastard, man. Should be asleep, man.
That makes it even better, to be fair.
Is it?
Now,
That's
welcome
like
to
that.
yeah. Welcome to the podcast. First of all, mate, it's good to have you on.
Yeah, appreciate you having me.
No, how's things? Obviously, it's been a bit chaos for you lately. I know it is anyway as a comedian, but in terms of obviously the video, what we'll come on to, but you feel like you're everywhere at the minute.
Oh yeah, it's just like very really like crazy and just like overwhelming. Like just to see what's going on. Like I've been doing gigs and then just having people go, You're the slow-mo guy, aren't you? It's just like, yeah. Like just mad situations. And it's just like, I just turn to everyone with and be like, what is going on? Like, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it's chaotic.
Well, let's just introduce you first of all. So obviously, this is Karl Porter for everybody listening. Karl's a stand-up comedian and has obviously hit a lot of screens recently, more so with the slow-mo celebration. For me, it looks like a Shearer celebration. But let's go with the accent first. Okay, so obviously people are listening. Liverpool supporters, quite a few Scousers. Where did your love come from, Liverpool? Clearly, as you're not from Liverpool yourself.
Yeah, it's mad actually. I might get myself in trouble, but like I'm originally from Manchester.
You seen sense, didn't you? So
that's it. I think just as soon as I knew what football was, I was like, yeah. Like it was weird. I think it was like early noughties where like I just started to like kind of know what football was. Like, you know, you get these people who are like, yeah, I'm a footy fan from the womb, mate. And it's like, can't even talk, mate. So yeah, I kind of like developed when it was Owen and Gerrard, like when they were in the like kind of together, like started making a name for themselves and stuff. That was when I sort of like drifted towards them and was like, whoa, check this out. So yeah, I think around 9 years old I was, I think, something like that.
So whereabouts in Manchester are you from, and what was it like being a Red? Because I've got an uncle who lives in Salford, and he's a Liverpool supporter, and it's a bit mad.
Oh, you just got to keep quiet. You just got to wear your jersey like you are now, just indoors with blinds down and that. Do you know what I mean? It was weird. So I only lived in like Manchester till I was like 7 years old, and then my family's like lived in Lancashire ever since. But then I went to uni at Salford and lived there for like 10 years after, like as well as uni. So it was a bit like mad because you couldn't obviously like you know go out in Salford like. I mean, you just won't see day of light again, would you? So it's weird. Like, so I feel like what your uncle like. Yeah, it's like on the other side of the water, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, the dark side. Okay, so let's get into your comedy. It's a weird conversation to have with people because it's one of them like, when did you first think he was funny? Do you know what I mean? I can't really. How did you get into it?
I guess like in like after school, I did like performing arts, and then I just used to kind of like fuck about, I guess. Sorry for language, like just used to like mess around at uni, college, and then I think I found out in the last year like there was a comedy course, which is mad, at Salford Uni, and everyone was just saying, "Oh, just go for it! Like you're funny, like you should just do it and see what happens." So I was like, "Yeah." I obviously went and did that, and then but stand up didn't really come to life until like properly anyway, until like 2019. So I did like the odd gig from 2014 to 17. I only did like 5 to 10 gigs in 3 years and then just stopped. And then in 2019, I just remember having a conversation with a guy and he just kind of like put it in my head where he's like, you know, you should be doing comedy, something related, even if it's stand up or TV or something. And then it kind of like stuck with me. And then ever since then, I've just been doing comedy.
And what's it like when, obviously, you must get pre-nerves before, I wouldn't say every gig, but what's the nerves like before you go out onto stage?
No shit in it, to be fair, because there's comedians who can like eat like a pizza like 5 minutes beforehand, and I've got to eat like 5 hours before. Yeah, like I just like even like drinking beer and stuff. Like I can't drink alcohol, eat. I'm just like dread of nerves. Probably most gigs, to be honest, just because like I guess when you care about something, like you want it just to go well, don't you? Even though like with comedy, it goes either way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and obviously you do a lot of work at the Hot Water. I've seen you on there, and the Frog and Bucket. This seems to pick up. Like every comedian goes on about the Frog and Bucket, back from where it started, things like that. What's so special about it?
It's a weird one. So I literally just did my first weekend just gone at the Frog and
Yeah.
Bucket. I guess like it was like it's kind of home for comedy because it was genuinely my first gig. So for me, it's kind of personal when if I do a gig there, it means more. Like maybe because I'm from Manchester as well, like even though I'm a Liverpool fan, but like it is like home turf, so it means like more to you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So you say you're living in Lancashire now, is that right?
Yeah, I live in Blackpool at the minute, as you
Blackpool.
can tell, with
Hence
seagulls.
the seagulls.
Yeah.
So how are you? So the gigs, obviously, they're all around the country, and how many are you doing a night when you do them?
Well, I'll do like it's mainly one a night. I mean, I think if I drove, because I just like commute with trains and buses and stuff if I need to get to gigs. But like I'm probably doing like 3-4, like average a week. I
Yeah.
mean, I may do more. Say like one time I might have like I think at one time I did like 6 gigs in 1 week, but it was just because it was just like they all fitted in the same week, so I could do them.
And how'd you find that? So obviously you do this. I always wonder this question. So obviously people do the same material while they're doing these shows,
Yeah.
and you have to stay animated. You have to stay on top of it. Do you ever in your head think, oh, "Fucking, hell, I'm going to say this again"?
Yeah, I guess so. Like obviously from the Frog, I did like a Friday night and then a Saturday matinee, and then the Saturday night same set.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you do your stronger stuff, what you feel goes down better than all other your material, then it's just easy to stick with that. But you know, sometimes you might not be everyone's cup of tea, so you could go in with your strong 20 on like a Tuesday night, die on stage, but then go to a gig on Wednesday and then smash it. So comedy's a weird one, isn't it? Because it's like you're not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah. So that moment of dying on stage, then, like, I can't think of anything worse. But when that happens, how do you recover from that?
I don't know. I don't know if I just got a weird like switch in my brain where like I'll do it and I'll feel a bit like oh like I just want to get off, but then like the next gig I'm like let's go. You know what I mean? Like you know it can only get better from that, I guess.
Yeah. Is there a trick? So let's say something's struggling or it's not going down well. Do you ever look at someone and think, right, I'm going to fucking bully you for the next 10 minutes?
You know what? No, because I'm not one of them comedians where you know like Paul Smith who just fucking terrorizes someone on the
Oh,
front row. Like it's not. I mean I've spoke to people in the crowd, but I've never like my material's like very like animated, physical, like observational. So I just act things out, and then I mean sometimes you know I could be doing a 20-minute set, and about 7 minutes in, I'm like flat as anything. I'm like Jesus Christ, I've got 13 minutes left. So I just
yeah.
like roll with it, just do it. You know what I mean?
And let's talk about the slow-mo celebration then. Where did you come up with this, first of all? Where did you think and why did you think you could do it? And then the reaction. Tell me about that
Um,
afterwards.
Again, I don't know if it's just when I was a kid, I just used to like watch, like, obviously I'm a big footy fan. I watch it religiously. And I used to like, as a kid, you're mesmerized. Like when you see your team scoring, I'll just be like watching it, like going, and then just acting it out and that. Like, you know, just in my room being a little like, right, gimp, like virgin him, like, you know, just upstairs, like doing that and stuff. And then I also obviously worked at a football stadium as well for like 6 years. So I was like in the core of it where I could like pick up things, observe things, write it down. And then I thought the footy thing would like, because most people can relate to football.
Yeah.
And then obviously with the kind of the slow-mo goal celebration, I think I just tried it once where I thought like it's different. You know what I mean? It's not anything anyone really does because it's like it's not in normal motion. So
Yeah.
obviously tried it once and then just developed it more and more probably over like the last 6 months. And then, I mean, the response from it was just like, never expected it, you know, because sometimes you expect like, get like a few thousand like, you know, like views and you're like buzzing it. But then
Yeah.
that one just like, just mental.
It is a mad one, isn't it? Because that can either go so well or it can go to absolute shit, can't it? Because obviously it's quiet as anything and you're acting something out. Um, it's done unbelievably well, hasn't it? You're tending to find that there's more business coming in for you and more interactions, things like that.
Yeah, I guess like because the clip itself, it's not a lot of interaction, if you know what I mean, like with the crowd. I'm not like, I literally say one thing at the beginning and then it's kind of like, what's going on here? Like, you know what I mean? There's not a lot of talking. So from that, obviously, yeah, the clip's done really well. And I've got like like quite a few opportunities from it, so which is good. It's kind of like drove me in the right direction, I guess.
Yeah, good. And it only takes that one thing, doesn't it? Do you feel like that was your moment to take yourself to the next step?
Yeah, definitely. I think for me that, like I said, with how it blew up so fast and it's kind of still going in a way, like I never expected, like the views it's got. So I couldn't probably ask for anything better, to be fair, to kind of like get me started, if you like, in the comedy.
And what's next?
MEN. I'm not joking.
Ambition,
Just like
I like
building
it.
up. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, that's the dream, that's the end goal. But now it's kind of like just graft as much as I can on the scene, take every opportunity what comes, and just see where the journey kind of goes from there.
Yeah, I kind of feel like with stuff like this, though, obviously, let's be honest, you'd never get a southerner trying something out what you've tried out there. It kind of feels like it's a bit of a northern thing, and everyone sort of loves that with comedy. Let's say that you feel them, and you'd understand them as a person just from one thing. It's a mad thing. Like Peter Kay, for instance. I'm not saying you're Peter Kay, but you go back in the day when he used to do all these type of things. Everyone was like, "Oh fucking hell, yeah! Oh, we've done that, or I've done that." I think that's great. Keep it going, mate. It's brilliant.
No, I appreciate it, man. Nice one.
So let's talk a little bit about the Reds. Okay, so I'll get into the first thing on them. This summer, obviously, transfers, everyone, all the Twitter virgins, all the transfer gurus, they're all out in force. And then Saudi Arabia comes over and takes our midfield. What was your thoughts on that when that first started?
I mean, it was a weird one because they were linked to half the team at one point, like Alisson, Gomez, Matip, Salah, and then like Firmino's gone, Henderson, Fabinho. It was really a surprise because I felt like if Fabinho and Henderson, like if one of them left, I thought, right, there's a hole to fill, like for like one of them to commute with, like to connect with each other, like gel, like. But then both of them go in, like they were like kind of the like bulk of like what we've done over the last 5 or 6 years. So it was a massive like kind of like, oh Jesus Christ, we really need to spend big. And I'm still sketchy about, obviously we've had an unbelievable start, but you still kind of question like, have we got what it takes to get top 4, like challenge for a couple of trophies? I don't know. So I mean, it's interesting to see where this team can like gel and go.
What was your thoughts on the last few days when Saudi were just banging on the door for Salah?
I literally thought he was going to go, because I thought like, yeah, in some sense, because I thought 150 million got rejected, and then I am coming back in for like over 200 million. I thought, I mean, Salah's like, he literally is like the king, like over the last 5-6 years, and what he's done is just, no one can really, do that again, like replicate that. I think in our lifetime maybe, but yeah, it was kind of like 200 mil would, my kind of ideal thing was like if he did go, get Mbappe next year. Sounds like mad, but he's the only person really you look at now and think, he's obviously connected with Liverpool because his mum's a fan. I think his mum or sister. And I just think, Klopp, who doesn't want to play for Klopp? If we get Champions League, it's kind of the perfect scenario, but it's sad if he did go. But I am buzzing he stayed. I'm absolutely over the moon.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of in that boat. It's like you get another season out of him and hopefully get whatever we do, whether we challenge or whether we get in the top 4, it sort of does rest on Salah playing in our side, doesn't it? Like if he was to have gone and we hadn't been able to bring anyone in, that would have been that gone, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Because, people talk about, we've got Nunez, Jota, Salah, Diaz, Gakpo, but no one can fill Salah because he's pretty much only the right winger we've got as well. Like Diaz is left. He could probably shift, but then if Diaz goes over, who's filling the gap if Salah goes? So, but Salah's just, he's just like what he's done. You know what I mean? He's like the 5th all-time goal scorer. It's 20 plus goals every season. Like, no one can replace him. He's literally been our best player, probably best signing under Klopp, I reckon.
Good statement there. You'd say so, wouldn't you? You can't argue with the numbers.
No, that's what I mean. You look at Alisson, Van Dijk as well, but he's just done so much. Like, he's won PFA Player of the Year multiple times, Golden Boot 3 times, robbed of the Ballon d'Or in my opinion.
Definitely.
And he's won every trophy. Like, he won us a Premier League pretty much. Like, but that was probably not like his worst season, but I think he got like 19 goals. It was his only season where he didn't hit the 20 mark, but so important. And look what he's done to United as well over the last 5 years. You know what I mean? So can't argue.
I think it was. Do you know what? This news come out about Salah the week before the window shut when conveniently we were playing Newcastle as well, didn't it?
Yeah, it's a good point actually. Yeah, because it was obviously they're connected with their owners, and there was talk about apparently us getting taken over and stuff. But obviously we've got money as well. Even if we did say even if we kept Salah like next year, because we went in for Casado, didn't we? So there's obviously money there because he's advertised at the owner. So you think we didn't get Casado, then we got, was it Endo for 17 mil? And I was like, like nothing against him, but you think 110 mil to 17 mil, it's like, just go all out.
It's usually quality over quantity in terms of what you want, but it was underwhelming, wasn't it? Like it went someone, you've gone from Caicedo, and I was thinking, we get him. I think that's the game changer. We win the league, we win everything. And then when that fell through, I was like, shit.
Yeah, and then Lafayette as well. Like it's so embarrassing because I was just like, God, it's not one. Like it's the same team. He's just like, he's gone. Yeah, I'm going to Chelsea, mate. You know what I mean? It's just like, just painful. Such a painful week.
I wouldn't mind, right? And excuse me for anyone who's listening from London, but London's a shithole as well. Let's be honest.
But it's mad, isn't it? Because everyone was putting an opinion across, saying like London's like the biggest city. There's more there, but it's expensive, isn't it? You know what I mean? To even go there for a weekend. So just come Liverpool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. cheap and cheerful, smoky mo's.
Go down to the hot water on a Sunday. You know what I mean? It's all great.
Okay, so I wasn't going to bring this up or bring him up, let's say, but I'm going to anyway, just because I feel like every conversation I have about him, about Liverpool, is about him. Szoboszlai, what have you thought about him so far?
Oh, mate, he's he's special. Like he's genuinely like he's that beast. Like we kind of need, controls games. Like he's just kind of like runs at players. Like possession. Like he's so key. I think over the last 4 games. Like he's definitely someone who we've needed. He's young, hungry, literally from Hungary as well.
No pun intended there.
Yeah, and he's gorgeous as well, isn't he? Let's be honest. When he got that goal, I was just like, number 8. Cater.
I'm so glad you said it.
Honestly, I was just like, obviously, I wind my girlfriend up like that with the phone going, Hungarian captain. No, he's brilliant, absolute class.
Okay, and your thoughts so far? Obviously, we're early into the season. The Europa League is due to start next 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. What are your thoughts so far with the start?
I think it's I couldn't be happy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think you can't win every single game, but I think we should have had 4 in 4 because the Chelsea game, it was just should have had that, But Newcastle 3 points away, draw at the Bridge. Comfortable win against Bournemouth in the end, and then I think it was Villa as well. That was even more comfortable. Like I didn't expect because we struggled for clean sheets as well. So I was always a bit like, because I think everyone was talking about our midfield being weak. That's kind of like tied itself up in a way for now. But then you're still a bit like, we still should have got a defender because like if Van Dijk or Kanate got injured, but to be fair, I thought if them got injured, we might struggle. But Matip and Gomez did a job against Villa, so couldn't complain. But it's interesting to see what happens because, like I said, no one really expected us to do this well so far. So, looking forward though.
Yeah. I'm with you. As soon as Kanate is not going to give you 38 Premier League games. That's the problem. And obviously the Van Dijk suspension it's a bit of a shitter, isn't it? So then Gomez and Matip, I was worried because they're both, let's be honest, made out of biscuits. So I was thinking, well, if you're not spending the money on Caicedo, we need to, if you got Endo cheap, maybe go out and splash on a defender. But who are we?
That's it. Well, you kind of think because you look at some of our our midfield, we'd not I think before we got in midfielder this year, our last kind of midfield in terms of starting was I think it was Thiago. 2020. So, we'd not spent anything there. And I think it's creeping up as well on the defence. I think Kanate over the last 3 years, nearly 4 years, he's our kind of only player we spent, bought in that area. So, I think January maybe, we may have to look at maybe getting someone or 100% in the summer next year.
Yeah.
But, because it's same with Trent as well. I thought we were going to get a right back, to be honest, but he's not been really bad like he was last year. He's done, he's done like really good, but like you want to push him in that midfield. He changed a lot, and he changed a lot. Like last 10 games of last season, he was brilliant in that position.
And what would you think would be a successful season for us this season? Obviously, anyone who puts up a fight with City deserves to win the league because they're an absolute oil machine, aren't they? No pun. They are a machine. What's your successful season then?
Well, saying what you said about City, we're the only team to actually take a title off them in the last 6 years. So successful season would obviously get to top four Champions League football, and maybe win the Europa League, maybe go on a run in Europe. I mean, everyone knows what we're like in Europe. It's that Anfield factor. You know what I mean? It's just like something happens, and obviously you've got to wait for when the knockout draws come. If we get through, because whoever comes from the Champions League. But I think we're definitely a favourite already, I guess.
I just hope Sevilla don't get knocked out and we end up fucking getting them again.
They do it on purpose, They just go, we'll finish third. Yeah, but we've got to check. Nah, we'll just go on Europa League, win that for a 7th time. It's getting boring. Let us have it. We've not won it since 2001.
Yeah. Okay. Well, last question then. Obviously, we've talked about the club and about your comedy. The manager himself, I ask everyone this because I always like to hear what people have to say. We've had a mad time before him. Let's say we got close with Brendan Rodgers on that year, and then it sort of went downhill. What's your thoughts on Klopp himself?
I think he's just like once in a lifetime game changer for us because you talk about Brendan Rodgers. We had that because for some reason before he came in, Klopp, we had a lot of managers who went close to the title, but then the year after just crumbled. Like Benitez, 08-09. Rodgers, 2013-14, same with Houllier in 2001. But, Klopp obviously got 97 points in the 2018-19 season, won Champions League. And then you think, we want that Premier League. But then we had to get 99 points to win the league. Yeah. So, what he's done is he's God in it. We're never going to get, he's like United's Ferguson, you know what I mean? You're never going to get a manager like him. He's the first one who you look at to keep. Like Carragher said it last year, I think. He's the one you look at first. You change everything before the manager because he's done everything, and hopefully, he stays like Fergie did at United. Just stay. You know what I mean?
I just can't imagine a Liverpool side without him.
Nah, not now because
I don't want him.
No, it's like 8 years now. I think next month, 8th of October. If I'm being a gimp, I think he came. It's my birthday month, so I'm just like,
yeah.
What he's done is phenomenal, and he's just give us so many good memories. I think maybe if he could win the league before he leaves and have an actual parade this time, that'll be like everything. Because we deserve that, regardless of what anyone else says. So hopefully, he stays. Because he's done it twice before when I think his missus turned around and said, no, just stay, sign another 2 years. So, might have to just get everyone to get hold of his wife and that and say, make him stay.
I was going to say that. Surely someone's holding his missus to ransom for her to want to stay here.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Because she loves it as well as him. So, hopefully he stays because he's done nothing but wonders with the budgets as well. You know what I mean? He's not like City, United, Chelsea where he just spends because he's not been able to. Because if there's one manager you want to give money to and just give him anything he wants, regardless of what he does with it, it's Jurgen.
Definitely.
So he's a genius. Best manager of my lifetime.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm definitely with you on that one. Okay, let's call it a pod there, mate. I know you've got stuff on as well.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for taking your time out today, and obviously I wish you all the luck with your comedies. It's brilliant, and it's really getting bigger and better. Where can everyone find you?
Just find me on Instagram, Karl Porter Comedy, with a K, because people tend to search C. So when I get letters what say C Porter, I just bin them, and then my missus is like, well, it's an eviction notice. I'm like, well, good luck to him.
It's not me.
Yeah, and then I'm out the house. But yeah, Karl Porter Comedy, if you can find me on Instagram.
All right. Nice one, mate. Thanks for your time.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, man.